welcome to Vetted Conversations, where we delve into the foundations, workings, and current challenges facing our American experiment. In today's confusing world, it's more important than ever to understand what keeps our nation strong and how we, as patriotic citizens, can actively participate.
Our mission is to ensure that you, the listener, gain the knowledge and insights alongside us, your veteran and military family member hosts, to become more informed and engaged citizens.
In a world of partisan noise, we lead with a bias of patriotism, cutting through the static with clarity, insight, and action. Join us as we learn together and help equip you with the tools to protect and preserve what matters most, our shared American ideals.
We are so excited to have with us Tracy Sandler, who is a reporter but also an entrepreneur who started the Fangirl Sports Network.
Correct.
And we are thrilled because, first of all, we love entrepreneurs, and second of all, we want to hear more about the women sports fan community, because we know that in the military veteran and military family community, there are many, many of us. So can you tell us a little bit about the network that you started and why and your motivation for it?
Absolutely. So I started, I'm a lifelong sports fan, and at the time that I started it, I really did not feel like there was content that spoke to women. And I wanted to change that. And I wanted women to feel comfortable being whatever kind of fan they wanted. So I'm the kind of fan who knows all the news and analysis, but also likes the lifestyle aspect of it and wants to know about the players off the field and all of that kind of stuff. So that's how we started Fangirl Sports Network, and now we have a lot of original content. We do 5 fun facts to get to know people better. It's something I do with the 49ers players. We do a lot of lifestyle, a lot of highlighting women in the industry, highlighting women's sports, while sharing all the most up-to-date news and analysis of everything going on. So it's been super fun. We've been through a number of iterations. That's the one thing I say to people, when you're an entrepreneur, you got to be flexible. You cannot be so married to any one thing, but we've been through quite a few iterations, and now I really feel like we're rolling, and it's just been great.
That is really exciting. Well, as a fan of the Super Bowl, I can tell you that my favorite thing is this food. Okay, I'm sorry.
Fair.
But
well then, can I do a shameless plug?
Yes.
Go to our website, subscribe to our newsletter. We did a bunch of recipes today.
Please tell me there's nachos.
There might be. I can't remember.
But I can help with that if we need to.
If not, we will add in nachos. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
okay, good.
Yeah.
There's some friends of mine from when we were stationed in San Diego. My husband's in the Navy, and we were stationed in San Diego. Some friends of mine used to have parties where they would lower the temperature in their house to like 59 to 60 degrees and shut all the windows and make it like dark and cold, so they felt like they were back on the East Coast, like their favorite team, which I was I respect that. That's commitment.
That is
group of women fans.
That is serious commitment. Then you really feel like you're there.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It can't be 75 and sunny if you're a Patriots fan.
But you still get the yellow line.
Yes.
I love the yellow line. When I first started covering games in person, I was like, it took me a minute. Like, where's the yellow line? I love the yellow line. It's fabulous. I love it.
Thank you. That's great. Okay, and you have a great uncle who served in the military.
Yes, I do.
Do you remember where he served? It's okay if you don't.
I don't.
Wait, one more time. So we kind of think, look, a lot of Americans come from military families, but more importantly, a lot of Americans really love the military. Do you see, obviously the NFL, but also a lot of the sports leagues have a big focus on supporting veterans and veterans' causes. And I'm curious, if you've ever kind of been able to write about that as a journalist, or, the salute to service games, like any of that, has that ever kind of come up in your work as in covering the sports?
Well, it's funny that you asked that, because I'm a 49ers beat reporter, and George Kittle is the Salute to Service award winner this year. So I actually just 2 days ago wrote a story on George and all of the work that he does to support the military. It's very important to him. He also does his My Cause, My Cleats every year to support the military. So I've written about that. So the answer to your question is yes.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, so we're running a campaign this year called Military 250.
Okay.
Because it is the 250th anniversty of the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps this
year.
year.
That's amazing.
Like the year before America got its independence, obviously we had to start a military so we could make that happen. And for the celebration of that, we're encouraging acts of service. So we're saying kind of honor the service by continuing to serve or by serving. And so I'm curious what other types of stories you found that really resonated with female fans around the causes of athletes and the causes of their spouses, and like, have you seen that as a big driver of content for your platform?
Absolutely, and it's something that I focus on. That's how I started covering the 49ers. So my background is in philanthropy, and I used to work for the mayor of DC. I ran his office on volunteerism, and so it was a real passion of mine. So I started covering the team because I was covering their community efforts, because they do so much in the community. So that's a huge part of my content, and I think that female fans, I do think all fans really like that content. And on the 49ers, they have a lot of guys that just do so much good work with the team and then on their own. And so for me, causes that are so close to my heart, or anything that has to do with children, anything that has to do with dogs, rescue animals. I have 2 rescue dogs, but it's been amazing to see what the guys do. And the My Cause, My Cleats initiative is so fun, because you really get to see what matters to the players and how they literally want to wear them on their feet. And it's a huge part of it. And I think it's one of the most important parts of it, and probably most underreported parts of the whole thing, because what they do in the community affects everybody, and they use their platform for good, which I think is amazing.
Totally. And we found that there's a lot of similarities between a military member who's getting out and has kind of the identity of being a military member, and how powerful a cause could be to them when they're getting out and transitioning, and kind of staying committed to that active service or serving again. It can really be helpful. But we also think that's very true for athletes and professional athletes. When they get out and take off the uniform, having the ability to have a cause to kind of stay focused on has probably been really helpful in a lot of that transition as well.
Absolutely, and I have a little anecdote with that in mind. The 49ers quarterback, Brock Purdy, still does every 49ers community event, and I've asked him before, why is that important to you? And he said, listen, football is our job, and it's a business, and I take it very seriously, but it gives me some good perspective when I'm out in the community and working with people that have many bigger problems. So.
Yeah, that's true, very true. So quick question for you. When you were working on volunteerism in your career, what would you say are like 2 or 3, really important opportunities that maybe are not as popular? I mean, people kind of know some of the typical volunteer opportunities, like, go to a soup kitchen or one of those things, but did you ever come across any opportunities maybe in the city of San Francisco, or that the sports leagues have done that you're like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't even really, that's not something you think about on an everyday basis?
Well, yes, actually. I think a number of the teams do this, where they have dogs from local animal shelters come in, and they bring awareness to that. And so they meet the dog, they put them on social media, and it helps the dogs get adopted. And I don't think people are very involved with rescue animals, but I don't think they think to necessarily do that. But I think the big thing is finding something that you're passionate about, even if it's not the most, the cause that everybody knows about and everybody's talking about, but find something you're passionate about and going from there. I work with foster kids. I'm what they call a CASA. And so that's something that is a big passion for me, and CASA's maybe it is more well known now, but to me that was something that resonated. And so I think that's the big thing. You find something that works for you, that you really feel passionate about, and then you'll really enjoy helping out.
Thank you. Well, thanks for being at CASA. It's a really important program.
Thank you.
And thanks for making sure that female fans have a place to go. Can you tell us your website?
Absolutely. FGSN.com. Subscribe to the newsletter.
Thanks so much, Tracy, for coming on.
Thank you for having me.